The Philippine archipelago was settled about 30,000 years ago by people who are believed to be from the Indonesian archipelago. The new settlers lived mostly peacefully until the Spaniard Ferdinand Magellan came. He claimed the land for Spain, but was then killed by a local chief. Spain colonized the Philippines and wanted to convert more people to Christianity and establish trading ties with China. After 300 years of Spanish rule, Filipino rebels began fighting back with help from the United States Army as the Spanish American War was going on. They succeeded in beating the Philippines, but then the U.S. annexed the Philippines as part of the U.S.'s peace treaty with Spain. During World War II, the Japanese occupied the Philippines, but were met with strong resistance. One of these fighting grounds was Manila, the capital, where most of the heavy fighting took place. These are the pictures I'm showing now. Full independence was finally granted by the U.S. on July 4th, 1946.
In the Philippines, the president is sworn in for 6 years without a chance of re-election. The president, also called the Pangulo, is currently Rodrigo Duterte. He's the 16th president and was sworn in June 30, 2016. Unfortunately, he's very controversial and has said things such as Trump is a bigot and Obama can go to hell. On top of that, he talks about publicly executing people. On paper, the Philippines is a constitutional republic, which means that there is separation of powers and heads are elected by the people. In reality, it's a dictatorship. The country is divided into several dozen provinces. Each head is an elected governor. They have had female presidents before, such as Corazon Aquino, who was the 11th president. On top of that, the Philippines has a Supreme Court with a head Chief Justice and 14 associate justices. The current Chief Justice is Maria Lourdes Sereno, who was appointed by former President Benigno Aquino III in 2012. Finally, they have 9 national parties: the major dominant Liberal Party, the United National Alliance, and 7 major parties.
Three issues in the Philippines are child labor, poverty, and terrorism. This article over here talks about children working in an unstable 25-meter deep pits, diving underwater to mine, processing gold with mercury. These jobs don't even seem safe for adults to do. This picture over here shows a child who seems like he's 7 carrying a big load. Not good for him. This article talks about the terrorism and other issues. May 23rd, there was a terrorist attack, killed 1,112 people and left more than 400,000 people displaced. Poverty is also another issue, as you can see here. Children and everyone are living in trash, and the government does not help them at all.
Since the end of the Second World War, the growth and development of the Philippines has been mixed. It has been one of the richest countries in Asia after Japan and one of the poorest. Lately, the economy has been on an upward trend, but their GDP growth has slowed recently. The Philippines mainly exports machinery and transport equipment. Their top imports are ores and metal scrap. Many of these imports are things that are scarce on islands. As of now, the political instability in the region has not affected the economic growth of the country and has outpaced regional neighbors, but the lack of direction from President Duterte has made investors uneasy in their country.
The future of the Philippines seems to be a mixed bag. While technologically they are aiming to make a city for the future, which would be both extremely advanced and economically stable, in reality that might all come crashing down since many foreign parties are getting fed up with Rodrigo Duterte's brutish ways of dictatorship and the fact that he has no issue with insulting other world leaders. He even compares himself to Hitler at times, which isn't exactly the best thing in most people's books. Originally, Rodrigo Duterte's ideals were to shoot him if he ever became a dictator, but recently he came to the conclusion that he has to be a dictator unless there's no progress made whatsoever in the country.